welcome back to Flosstube number 18. If you're a subscriber to my channel and you don't know what Flosstube is and you've just ventured into this video, I think you should give it a chance. Flosstube is a part of YouTube that's about cross stitch or stitchy things. And so for cross stitch you need to use floss. So it somehow got the name Flosstube. So today I'm going to be talking about just cross stitchy things. So if you already know you aren't interested in that, then I'll see you back for the next video. I'm going to go over the last 2 weeks, what I've been stitching on, what I've been loving, who I've been watching, do I have any haul to share with you today, and I kitted up some things, and then I'm going to talk about my plans, and then by the time I have my next Flosstube video, it is going to be 2023. So very, very exciting. Just 1 month more, and I think I'll be at my 20th Flosstube, which means that it's been 40 weeks since I started Flosstube. Wow, that feels like a lot. I think it actually might be a little less because I think I had a couple times in there where I was filming more frequently than every 2 weeks, but it's something close to that. So I should be popping out a Flosstube baby pretty soon apparently. So I had so much more stitchy time these last 2 weeks than the previous 2 weeks. I really enjoyed myself. I put my hands on a lot of different projects and I just had such a great time stitching. I was dyeing a lot of fabric and kitting up some fun things that I'm excited to start. I don't know when I'll start them, but such a fun stitchy time. So first I'm going to share with you a finish. So I'm really excited for this piece because it's my first fully finished object. I don't have it in person to share with you because I made this as a gift for my friend Heidi, and so I sent it to her. I will share with you a picture that she took of the finished object for me because I totally spaced it and forgot to take a picture of it before I wrapped it up and sent it on its way to Wisconsin. So this is little Nutcracker Man. He's a dancing mouse. Heidi and I have this inside joke about funny animals and cross-stitch patterns. And so when I saw the Nutcracker pattern in one of the December-ish issues of, I think, Cross Stitcher magazine or something, I subscribe to a couple of them digitally on an app on my phone. I can't remember which one it was, but I actually find that I'm not as interested in stitching projects from those magazines, so I'm probably going to unsubscribe to that. But I was subscribed for a whole year and it was fun, but I just didn't find myself really wanting to stitch any of it. So after like the initial interest in it, I just found that I was much more interested in stitching things from indie designers that they release like on their website and things like that. So in any case, I did find the subject for this gift in that magazine though, so I was really happy about that. As soon as I locked eyes on it, I thought, yes, that's exactly what I need the ornament to be. So this was really fun. This is a piece of 32 count. I think it said like natural ivory. It was a piece that I picked up, I think, like at Shepherd's Bush or something. Or no, I think I found it on eBay when I was getting patterns for something and it was listed there and it was like $10 for this little piece of fabric. I didn't realize how little it was, but it ended up being perfect for this ornament. And so that's 32 count and I did that 1/1. Had a jolly time doing it. It was really, really fun. I find that I don't, I enjoy 1/1 on little tiny projects more if I don't have things in a Q-snap for some reason or in a frame or anything. So it really wasn't that bad. I remember when I was stitching a project from Rosewood Manor 28 count over 1 and I was just like, this is crazy. I don't think I could ever do this again. And then I did that one over 32, so it's totally doable, but I think it was also kind of a looser weave. So anyway, I love it. I finished it using Vonna Pfeiffer's tutorial on how to finish a ornament, and I just did exactly what she showed me to do there and it turned out great. So, and I didn't have to get out my sewing machine, so that's great for me too. It just used hand stitching, not glue or anything. Actually, I think you had to glue the batting down to the, like the hard thing that she said to use. Those are really technical terms. So anyway, that was really fun and I'm excited to finally be able to share it with you now that she has opened her gift. Okay, so that was my fully finished object for the last couple weeks. Now let's get into WIPS. I have quite a few because I found myself with more time to stitch, and I was just like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to start that. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to start that. So I did stitch on quite a few things, including the project that we randomly drew for me to stitch on last time we met. So let's go ahead and take a look at my WIPs. So this first one I worked on a bit more, I believe, since we last met. And this is Autumn Lane Stitchery Autumn Towne. And I believe, well, I can't remember. Anyway, I'll know in a second because I'm going to pull out the other footage, but I think that I did some more in the black cherry. That's a Gloriana black cherry that I was so looking forward to stitching with, and in fact I love it. I love that floss. I'm going to be referencing it again here later in the video. So this is a hand-dyed piece of 40 count, hand-dyed by me, and I really am enjoying this pattern, and I don't know, maybe I'll work on it again some more this fortnight because it is beautiful. So I showed you up there where I was last time. Didn't make a ton of progress because I stitched on a lot of different things the last 2 weeks. My next WIP, which stands for work in progress by the way, is this one, and I put in a few more stitches. Started working with that yellow, which is gorgeous. This pattern is not holding my interest the way that I wish that it was because I have planned out to do all of them. And I think it's because there's so much, here let me put this back down here. There's so much here that's all going to be the same. So I think I'm going to get bored. So I think what I probably need to do is stitch this and go down and then stitch this guy so that I don't put off this project because I do want to stitch all of them. So I think that's going to be one of my goals for this week is to go ahead and border that out so I can jump in on the bird. And so yeah, here's where I got to before I got a little bored of it and decided to switch to a different project. If you guys have been watching my floss tubes, you know that I get bored kind of quickly. And since there are so many beautiful patterns out there to stitch, my brain thinks, well, why stitch on something that I'm not that interested in stitching right now? So anyway, that's where I am, and I have shown you on the screen there where I got to last time. So I'm gonna commit to working on that border the next couple weeks. And this is a piece of hand dyed by me, 40 count. It's almost always going to be a piece that's hand dyed by me because I have discovered that I really love that, and I will always tell you it, but when in doubt, that's what I'm stitching on, and I'll tell you of course if it's not. Next I worked on Winter Rose Manor by With Thy Needle and Thread. Here's what the full design looks like, and as you can tell, I really liked this pattern. I'm stitching on a hand dyed piece of 28 count Lugana, which is different for me, so maybe that's why I was enjoying it. I was enjoying doing something different than the rest of mine probably. This is stitched one thread over 2 on 28 count Lugana, and I had this kit up for months and months, and I was so excited to finally start it. So I got a lot of the border done. I would say, no, I don't have half of the border done, but I have quite a bit of it because, well, at least these flowers, what I mean. This is the end of the flower, and then it's going to switch to a different, which is one of the things I really like about this pattern is it's not repeating this all the way around, so I find that really interesting. I'm using the called for flosses. I forgot to mention that with the last two. I'm using the called for on those as well, and those were 1 thread over 2 on those 40 counts. So I think I'm going to work on this some more in the next 2 weeks, so you'll probably see some more of this guy next time. I was stitching on a lot of stuff that I really liked this week, and one thing that I really didn't like this week, this is another one that I really did like. This is Shakespeare's Peddler Jenny Bean Christmas, and you will probably see me stitch all of the Jenny Bean patterns over the course of this floss tube because I really love them. So yeah, here's how far I got. I just really was digging this. This floss right here is a new favorite. This is Walnut from Gentle Arts, I believe. Anyway, that's gorgeous. This is Current. I love Current. I'm going to use Current. I'm going to reference that again later in the video. But really loving this. So I just started getting into the house. But one thing that makes this pattern nice, well, I do this on a lot of patterns, but I can kind of like jump between the things. Like if I'm like, oh, no, I'm bored of this house, I'll jump back up in here and do some more of this. Oh, now I'll go and do some more border. That's just how I stitch. I kind of like go all over. So really loving this. I don't know if you'll see more of this next week. We'll see how much more Christmas stitching I'm into. On my nails today, by the way, this is Moonshine Manny CROCS with socks. And this is a special polish that I created for the Hella Handmade Creations December event. And if you've never been before, it's an online event where indie polish makers, similar to indie pattern creators, indie designers, make polishes for that event, and they're exclusive to that event. So this is a silvered eggplant filled with a hollow and a holographic microflakies and dust, and this is also a thermal. I'm very cold right now. This is the cold state, and I'll put up a picture of what it looks like in the warm state. So anyway, if you are interested and been enjoying what's on my nails today, I love gray polish. This is gray, but it has a lot of purple undertone, and this is available exclusively there, so I'll link that in the description bar below. It's only available through December 21st. This is my next WIP. I finally started this lovely lady. You remember when I hauled this and talked about how excited I was to start this for Christmas a long time ago. This is the only Stoney Creek pattern that I have, and I discovered that I am not enjoying this. This was my not enjoy stitch, and I think the reason why is because it felt very similar to the Dimensions Gold. I used to basically stitch exclusively Dimensions Gold because I thought that's all there was. I just find that I love the more prim layout, the more like similar to a sampler layout for cross stitching, and less of like this more confetti heavy style and like the kind of pattern where you have to look so hard to see where you're at. That's I think why I love the prim or sampler style stitching, is because it's so easy to figure out where you're at. With this pattern, I kept having to stare at the pattern and be like, oh, am I here or there or da-da-da? You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So anyway, I just started with this Corner Shepherd, and unfortunately, he's a boring color, so that's another reason why I'm not as interested in it. I'm going to try to get down into this red. I don't want to say that I'm giving up on this right now, obviously. I barely just started, but I'm just like, oh yeah, this is kind of the kind of stitching I'm not enjoying right now, which is why I haven't finished that Dimensions Gold that I showed you guys in my first video that I started forever ago. So I don't know when next you'll see this. We'll see how I end up feeling after this week. But I floss dropped all the floss for this. It's a giant bag of DMC flosses, so that makes me feel very stubborn about continuing with this. You know what I need to do? I need to put this into Pattern Keeper or my cross stitch app. That would help so much, because it's just so hard for me to see what I've done, and I don't really want to highlight the pattern and like mark it all up. So my other option is take a picture of it and print it out, which I do sometimes. Well, no, I don't. Actually, no, I don't do that. I usually take a picture of patterns and put it in my phone so I can blow it up really big, but that wouldn't even help me with this. What would help me is putting it in a Pattern Keeper type app. So maybe if I do that, I'll have more success, because right now it's just really frustrating. The other frustrating thing about this is it's unknowingly a 46 count or possibly even tighter weave. This is a piece of 40 count. I think it's called Morning Mint, and I bought it from a website, Rogue Stitching. And unfortunately, and I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you. Oh, and there's like a little line here. Well, I'm just going to pretend that's supposed to be here. Let me find the spot. I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you, but you can see the brand's logo etched itself onto the fabric because there was a business card stapled to the fabric, and it's been like probably 6 months since I bought the fabric. So now this whole side of this this project wasn't usable, and you can see it a little bit through this side, but certainly on this side it's totally marked it on there. So that was really disappointing. So not only was I having a really hard time seeing and getting my needle through the holes because this was weaved so tightly, or after they dyed it, whatever the process was, it got so tight. So maybe I need to change my needle. And then I was really disappointed that it had messed up the fabric. So yeah, just a lot of things about this that were not my favorite. All right, and the last thing that I stitched on since last we met is this, which is Lavender Farm from Cuore a Batticuore, and I really love this, if you can't tell. So here is the pattern. Here's what the whole thing is going to look like. I did a center start here, which is not that usual for me anymore. So I love this. This is just like my little pattern for when I want to revel in my love of purple. So I'm going to put up on the screen where I was last time, which is not very far at all. I had like this, and then some of this, and then most of this, but I did quite a bit more. Really enjoyed it. This is stitched on a piece of 32 count, I don't know what. If I found it in the first video, I'll put it up on the screen. So it's really loose for me for what I like lately, and I'm stitching with 2 strands of the called for DMCs over 2 on this, and so it is quite a bit bigger than I enjoy stitching lately, and that's maybe the only thing that I don't really love about it. But as you can see, I have been loving it. And actually, I don't know if you can tell, you probably can't, but this whole part is blended floss. The designer has you blend 2 colors for that, so that makes it so every time I start new here, I can't start with a loop start, which is slightly frustrating as well, but I am really loving this pattern. You're not going to see it before next video. I am going to put it aside because I do like more seasonal stitching, and there's other things I want to put my hands on, but I was really happy to stitch on this this week. The last couple videos, I kept meaning to mention some floss tubes that you might enjoy that I've been watching lately, and then it just went right over my head because I don't make notes or anything, and so I wanted to make sure and do that sooner than later into this video. So I will put the links to their channels down in the description box, which is where you'll find all the information you might need to go search for any projects I'm working on or anything I hauled. And so there's lots of good information for you down there. So I'm going to list these floss tube creators down there as well. I have 2 floss tubers first to mention to you. If you want to watch people who are absolutely jubilant with their love for this craft, I have 2 channels for you. I just watched their videos almost back to back, and they were just both so very happy. So the first one is Huga Stitcher. It looks like it should be pronounced Hike Stitcher, but I keep listening to her pronounce it so I could say it right, Huga Stitcher. And she is so happy. You'll see in her most recent thumbnail that she finished Hawk Run Hollow, the map of Hawk Run Hollow, and it is huge and gorgeous. And I'm pretty sure that she said she did all of that 40 count over 1 over 1, and I just sat there like this. Having just done that little mouse 32 count over 1, I just couldn't even imagine her doing that, and I just think that's amazing. I mean, it is a great size if you do it 40 count over 1, because those projects are huge. There's one up, I think, in Shepherd's Bush, and it's huge. Anyway, gorgeous pattern. Go check her out. She's so happy. And another floss tuber that is just really just joyous in her life, it seems, and for her channel, and to talk to her stitchy friends here on Flosstube and to talk about her love of this craft. That she just recently changed her channel name, so let me look at it to get it right. Contented Needleworker Kim. So I've been subscribed to her for a while, but I saw that she just switched that, so if you want to reference my link down below to look her up. But those are 2 ladies that are just like so happy to talk about Flosstube or their cross stitching. So those are really feel good channels. I found another new stitcher, and her name is Katie the Novel Stitcher, and I definitely had heard people mention her but just had never went to go look her up. And I really like her channel because she combines her love of stitching and reading. So for me personally, it's really nice because I can go listen to her talk about stitching, and at the very end, if you're not interested in reading or like new books that she wants to recommend, you can just skip that part. But at the end, if you hang on, then you get to hear some book recommendations, which I really, really like. And it sounded like the ones that she was recommending in this most recent video were really good. So I was excited about that. Another Flosstuber that I really enjoyed because she stitches a lot of different things than I stitch because she has a lot of full coverage projects and all this beautiful artwork that she stitches, plus she's an Aussie, so she's just wonderful to listen to. And this is Stitch Me Sane. I think she only has a couple videos. Her first one is a whip parade, so you might want to watch that. I think she put it up in November, so I'll link that down below as well, but I really enjoyed watching her talk about her projects. And then another channel that I just recently found, her channel name is Nicole Spore LLC. Neither of those first words are spelled the way you think, so follow my link below and get to her channel. She is also really fun to listen to, and her channel, she does a lot of card making and other crafts as well. So if you're looking to branch out into some other crafting videos, so you're not just like super tunnel vision into cross stitch, I really like watching it while I'm cross stitching because I like to explore new different things that I don't do, but I can still really enjoy her artistic vision and her talents. So she does a lot of stuff. Quilting and card making is really beautiful, but she also does do cross stitch. So I think, you know, maybe like once every other month or something, she has a Flosstube video in there too. So I'll link that down below as well. So hopefully you enjoy some of those creators. All right, so next I'm going to talk about haul and kit ups. And now I really did not shop almost at all the last couple weeks. I have just been stitching on things that I have already in stash. I'm very happy to do so. But I did receive one gift for Christmas, which I want to share with you. And then I snagged one pattern when I was picking up some fabric. So I'm going to share those with you first, and then we're going to move into the projects that I kitted up that I'm really excited about as well. All right, next I'm going to talk about a haul, and I just have these two things to share with you. I purchased this, the Maker and Mender from Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread. I am just, there we go, just really developing a deep love for her designs right now. So I grabbed this when I got a yard of fabric, a yard of platinum from Colorado Stitcher. From her shop, she had a yard of that, and I wanted it for dyeing. I really like dyeing, or excuse me, I bought alabaster, not platinum. I really like dyeing on alabaster. If I want to make something a little bit more warmer, I will get platinum. But alabaster is just really, really yummy, so I like that. So anyway, here's the first thing. And then this was a Christmas present from my girl Heidi. And this is a kit, Jacobean Tree, Creative Needle Arts. And it's very Kathy Barrick-esque. I actually had a teacher when I was a kiddo. Her name was Kathy Barry. It comes kitted up with all of these flosses. Well, I need to floss drop them, but. And then it looks like a piece of 14 count Aida, actually. So, isn't that gorge? Okay, next I'm going to share with you my kit ups. And all but one of these are pieces that I hand dyed actually yesterday for these projects. So here are the called for anchor flosses for Barbara Anna Designs All Creatures Great and Small. And I wanted to create this cloudy blue shade just to go with something a little bit different for that pattern. And I really enjoy it. And looking forward to starting that. I have heard, I forget whose Flosstube, but they said that that was their favorite thing that they ever stitched. So I was like, oh dang, we gotta stitch that. So yes, this will be my first pattern fully stitched with anchor floss, and these are all gonna be 40 count, these fabrics you're looking at. This next piece of fabric is from Be Stitch Me, from the it was the fabric of the month for November, I think. I haven't received December's yet. And I've decided to put this guy on here. And if I end up enjoying the stitch, I'll pick up some more of their monthly snowmen, but I'm not sure. But for now, I'm going to give it a go because I've been holding on to this and thinking which sampler do I want to put this on, and I just didn't ever find a perfect fit for this. So I decided that I'll use this for some smaller projects. It's really beautiful. It has greens and purples. It's just gorgeous. Like, I was thinking it would be really great for a nature piece, but then I didn't want any greens from a pattern to be hidden in this fabric. So then, yeah, I couldn't ever put my mind on what exactly would be perfect for this. So I think we'll just use it for some smalls. So anyway, here's these, and then I've kitted up the called for flosses, which, as you can see, there are some greens in here. But in the pattern, like, it's very minimal. It's just a tiny bit. So, and then these are on top of the white. You know, mostly it's white and red. So I'm hoping those are going to look nice on there. So anyway, that's the plan. Here is the maker's business card. So this one's called Portobello. So, and here's Be Stitch Me if you want to go look that up. Okay, this next one's going to be fun. This fabric I created for my Louisa Barney from Reflet de Soie, which I'm going to be stitching with these 103s. And as you can see, the pattern is it's very different aesthetically to anything else I'm stitching currently, and really makes me feel like I'm in another time when I look at it and in another place. So I wanted to create a piece of fabric that was really distressed looking. So this fabric has a lot of grays, as you can see, this mauve base color running all through, and then I created these very distressed patches on the fabric. Here we go. There's the full look of the distress because I added some strong warm tones in the distressment, and I haven't stitched on a piece of fabric where I've done that yet, so this will be a fun experiment for me, and I just wanted something really, really different for this design. So this is a piece of 40 count. Like I said, I really love dyeing on alabaster from Zweigart. Okay, this next piece is very, very special. I did not dye this. This is a piece that's hand dyed for me from my friend Heidi. And this is tea dyed Zweigart 40 count. And so this actually is what really inspired me to create that look on my Louisa Barney that I just showed you. Because I really love how, I believe she drug the tea across it, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous look. So I am really excited to stitch Memories of the Past from Hands Across the Sea on this. This has such a vibrant and wide-reaching color palette. When you look at the design, which I'm showing up there, it was a PDF download. It looks like it's like mostly purples and pinks, but look at all these colors. I mean, I'm really excited to get into this. So you're going to see me start this before next, maybe this will be my Christmas morning start. So I wanted to put this very special pattern on this very special piece of fabric. The only problem is I'm going to have only like an inch margin on one side, but I really want to stitch this pattern on this special fabric. So yes, shout out to Blitz Stitch. He showed this on his Flosstube, Memories of the Past, and look at this beautiful. Oh, so pretty. And so I saw that on his Flosstube, and I knew I had to get it. So yes. Okay, this next piece of fabric is really fun as well. As you can see, it has a lot of indigo. I layered up some indigo, and then I layered up some shades of rosy tan in here. So there's a lot going on. It's a super, super fun piece. There's some sides that are less indigo than others. But I wanted to create a really special piece for A Savior's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. So that's what's going to go on this lovely. Here are the called for. It's not very color diverse, I have to admit. And so I was like, okay, I want a piece of fabric that is color diverse because I am probably going to get tired of just blue, browns and greens. So I think it'll look nice on this with the contrast with the indigo. It's a more blue indigo than purple, in case you're wondering. I don't know if that's showing up super color accurate. Hopefully it is. So I'm putting on the screen what that pattern looks like. And I believe, did I see that on Lori Holt's channel? I think I might have, but anyway, it is a gorgeous stitch. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, speaking of Lori Holt, so if you watch her Flosstube, you will know that she is doing heirloom samplers for her grandmothers, great-grandmothers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, and I really, really love that idea. I miss, all my grandparents have passed. I really miss them, and I was close to all of them, and so that's really special to me. So for the women that she's celebrating, she's using shades of red, and she's using a different red floss for each one. So I want to do the same thing. This is a piece of silk from Mrs. Sadas. Mrs. Sadas y Mas. And this is Rouge. And so this is very dark. I was thinking that the first pattern I was going to do was for my grandma that I was closest with, which is my mom's mom. But she is much more of a lively personality. She loved dancing, acting. She was a great artist and singing. And so I think that I'm going to use this rich, loving, deep red shade. It's more of a burgundy, but we're going to use it for this. For my Grandma Leona, which is my father's mother. And I'm going to stitch this carriage house sampler. And following Lori's example, I'm going to figure out a spot in here where I can add her name. And a lot of times she will add it like below the bottom border and then put another border in kind of thing. Or just like do the alphabet, move the border down a smidge and put her name right in here. So this is Matter's Choice from Carriage House Sampling. And with this appearance, this pattern looks very autumnal and even kind of spooky to me, with this very marigold kind of fabric with the black. But I'm going to stitch it over this very cool toned piece of Zweigart that I dyed with layering shades of black, and then of course some really nice, lovely, dramatic modeling splotches here that I placed. And I'm going to stitch it with this lovely over top, and I think it's going to be awesome. I'm really, really excited about that. This is another project that you're going to see me start before next Flosstube. So the reason that I said I was going to talk about those other flosses later, it's because I'm definitely going to use Currant for this series, and Gloriana Black Cherry, I just love. I think I'll use Black Cherry for my mom's mother, Dorothy Lee. So yes, I'm very excited for this series, you guys. I'm super, super pumped. So that's a big part in my plans that I'm going to talk about later for 2023. This series is going to take a big part in that. All right, here is the next color palette that I kitted up, and this is for the Scarlet House Jane Cowie. I'm always talking to you guys about how much I love the Scarlet House, but I don't stitch on her patterns a lot, but I really, really love them. So this one is just gorgeous, such bright colors, so I had to do it in the MPIs, and they just feel so, so nice. But just look at how beautiful and vibrant. Wow, I'm really excited to put my hands on this. Probably my favorite floss set out of any of them that I'm sharing with you in Kit Ups today. So I created this piece. I didn't want it quite as warm as this. I don't tend to love warm colors as much as I like cool colors. And even though there's a lot of warmth in this palette, I wanted to cool it down just a little bit. So I went with like a little bit of a cooler tan modeling and layering up of, I think it was just very light, very small amounts and a large dilution of dark brown RIT dye. And I just did it over and over to give a nice layering and modeling effect. So anyway, yes, I'm really excited for Jane Cowie. Still, again, a piece of 40 count alabaster that I started with. Okay, this is the last kit up, and it is Plum Street Samplers Blackberry House. I've had this pattern for quite a while. Like, this pattern I remember I saw and just fell in love with Plum Street, and then I started collecting all of her patterns. I love it so much. I love those colors. I have the called for over dyes, and I wanted something different than this. So I decided to create this earthy olive, and I think it just looks really nice with the purples and pinks. And man, this is pretty, a wood trail. Yeah, that's really nice. So anyway, yes, this has some brown effects on parts of it, and I think it'll be really nice. In fact, I plan to make myself quite a bit more of this fabric, I think, because I really, really love it, and I think that I will really enjoy a lot of samplers on this very light olive. And if another pattern comes along that I just have to stitch before I feel the itch to stitch Blackberry House, I might steal it and replenish the fabric in this kit up later. Oh, this is pretty. This is called Amethyst. Oh, so pretty. So this one is, oh, there's Current. Okay, so that's everything that I've been working on. Now we're going to talk about plans. So I am really excited for 2023. I don't have any like set plans for what I'm going to stitch when, because if you've been following my channel, you know that I just like to stitch what makes me feel good then. And if I have like some kind of feeling of commitment to a project, it makes me kind of want to stitch it less. So what brings me a lot of happiness with this hobby is just laying my eyes on a project and being like, that would make me feel really good to put some stitches into that right now. And so that's what I do. I am going to be doing Mania again this next year. That's far in the future, but I'm going to be trying to work on those projects that you've been seeing in that list of 17 projects from last year's Mania, which was 22 projects. So I technically kicked out 5 of them. Well, I finished 1. So I kicked out 4 because I've learned more about what I am actually interested in stitching. So I'm going to be trying to get some of those done, and if I do have any open spaces for this next year, I will add in some new, probably WIPS, because I don't save starts for like special occasions. If I want to start something, I just do it, and it doesn't really bother me. So I am really excited about the idea I was just talking to you about that I got from Lori Holt's channel, where she's stitching these special monochromatic samplers for her grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and grandfathers and great-grandfathers. I'm really, really excited about that. That has kind of lit a little fire inside of me. So as you saw, I have one kitted up. You will probably see that started before my next floss tube. So that's pretty much how much I've planned in the future. I don't plan super far out. You guys know I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. And then in this video, we'll pick a project from my Mania. We'll randomly choose one project for me to throw into my WIPS this next fortnight. Oh, the thermal is starting to shift on these nails. I just bumped this nail, so just ignore that. But now you can see the purple coming out there. I think it's really, really fun. This one's called Crocs with Socks. Okay, so I got a little toastier. I warmed up. All right, so we are going to choose one project from here. If it's something that I've worked on recently, I will probably choose a different number. So let's see what we get. Number 10. Oh, yay! So this random generator has been really nice to me, and it hasn't generated any identical numbers. So this is... my Mirabilia is Garden Prelude, I think, and it's the lovely lady in the garden playing the violin, and I'm obsessed with it, and haven't had a reason to work on it over the seasonal things that I've been wanting to do, which is why I created this. So these are my Mania starts from last year, in case you didn't know what this was. And so I'm going to get out this Mirabilia and work on her some more, and I'm really, really excited about that. It is a 32 count, so I'm using 2 flosses, or 2 strands over 2, which is not my favorite, but I'm excited to get her out. The colors, which I've shown you on the screen right now, the colors are so, so beautiful, so really pumped. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me, got some stitching done while you were listening to me chat, and maybe you found a few new projects that you're interested in. I have been working on cataloging all of my stash, which I think is going to help me a lot. If you watch my nail polish videos, you will know that back eons ago, 8+ years ago when I started my YouTube channel, I used to catalog my nail polish, and then I just stopped. It got to be way too much for me, and I figured there's no way, I mean, never say never, because I never say never about anything really, but I don't feel at this moment that there's any possible way that I could have as much nail polish stash or as much cross stitch stash as nail polish stash. There's just absolutely no way. But I want to tackle it before it gets out of hand. You know what I mean? So, okay friends, I think that's going to be it for today. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday week. And if you are alone for the holidays, I encourage you to reach out to a friend. Even though it's hard sometimes, that's kind of the last thing we want to do when things are feeling rough. But if you don't want to make contact with somebody, you can come hang out with me on my channel. I have so many things. If you want to watch really silly videos, you can watch the mix-alongs that Tim and I do together where we dress up and act a fool. You can watch us mix nail polish. Even if you're not interested in nail polish, you might have some fun hanging out with us because we're really silly and we're just being raw and just our normal crazy selves in those videos with you guys. So anyway, I hope that you have a good week. I will see you guys back in a couple weeks in the new year. Take care until then. Bye.